The Legend of Barku. In the heart of the Savannah Kingdom, the village of Kumalo stood as a beacon of resilience, prosperity, and unity. At its heart was Barku, a warrior whose name echoed across the land. He was not just a protector but a legend, known for his unparalleled skill in battle and for possessing a gift that made him invincible, the power to transform into a jaguar. Barku's gift manifested during his youth when he saved his village from an ambush by raiders. Cornered and outnumbered, he felt an overwhelming surge of power coursing through his body. His shape changed, his senses heightened, and he became a jaguar. In that form, he defeated the raiders and secured Kumalo's safety. From that day, Barku's transformation became both his strength and a mystery. Some whispered that it was a blessing, others that it was a curse, but Barku himself saw it as his duty to protect his people. Despite his strength, Barku was humble. He trained young warriors, shared meals with farmers, and sought wisdom from elders. Yet, even the strongest heart could be swayed by love, and Barku's heart belonged to Nyah, a woman whose beauty and charm captivated him from the moment she arrived in Kumalo. Beyond Kumalo's borders lay Zakiri, a kingdom that once thrived but now struggled under the weight of its failures. Oba Jororo, Zakiri's ruler, was a man consumed by ambition and bitterness. For years, his attempts to conquer Kumalo had ended in humiliating defeats, each one marked by the name Barku. Oba Jororo's hatred for Barku wasn't just political, it was deeply personal. Zakiri's elders had once prophesied that their kingdom would rise only when its greatest rival fell. Barku, the warrior who had turned away countless armies, was the symbol of that rival's strength. Desperate to secure his legacy and silence the whispers of his failures, Jororo devised a plan. He knew that defeating Barku on the battlefield was impossible. So he turned to deceit. He sent Nyah, a woman of great beauty and cunning, to infiltrate Kumalo. Jororo promised her wealth and the safety of her family, who were captives in Zakiri, in exchange for her betrayal. Nyah arrived in Kumalo as a refugee, claiming to have fled a war-torn village. Barku welcomed her warmly, captivated by her vulnerability and grace. Over time, she became close to him, earning his trust and affection. Yet, as she grew closer to Barku, Nyah found herself torn. She saw firsthand the love and respect the villagers had for him, and she began to question her mission. Barku's kindness, his devotion to his people, and the purity of his spirit weighed heavily on her conscience. But Jororo's threats loomed. If you fail, he had warned, your family will pay the price. With her loved ones' lives at stake, Nyah felt she had no choice but to proceed. One fateful evening, Nyah prepared a drink for Barku, laced with a potent mixture from Zakiri's herbalist. This concoction would suppress his transformation, severing his connection to the power he relied on. As they sat by the fire, Nyah handed him the drink, her hands trembling. "You've carried so much for Kumalo," she said, her voice soft. "Let this night bring you peace." Barku smiled, trusting her completely. "With you here, peace feels closer than ever." That night, as Barku slept, Nyah climbed a nearby hill and lit a signal fire. In the distance, Zakiri's warriors began their march. At dawn, Zakiri's forces stormed Kumalo with brutal precision. Barku awoke to the sound of war drums and rushed to the battlefield. Gripping his spear, he called upon his gift, but his body refused to change. Panic set in as he realized something was wrong. Even without his transformation, Barku fought valiantly, his skill and courage unmatched. But without his jaguar form, the tide of the battle turned against him. Kumalo's warriors, inspired by his bravery, held their ground, but the invaders overwhelmed them. Amid the chaos, Barku spotted Nyah standing on the hill, her face pale and stricken with guilt. The truth of her betrayal hit him like a blow. As Kumalo's defenses faltered, Barku retreated to a quiet grove on the edge of the village. Kneeling in the dirt, he gripped his spear tightly and whispered to the unseen forces that had granted him his gift. Whatever power has allowed me to protect my people, hear me now. I do not ask for myself, but for Kumalo. Grant me the strength to save them one last time. I will give everything, my life, my soul, if it means they survive. A surge of energy coursed through Barku's veins. His muscles rippled, his senses sharpened, and his body began to change. For the final time, Barku became the jaguar. Barku's return to the battlefield was a sight to behold. His golden eyes burned with determination, and his roar echoed across the savannah, freezing Zakeri's warriors in their tracks. With unmatched ferocity, he tore through their ranks, his claws and fangs cutting down enemies with precision. The villagers, emboldened by his transformation, rallied behind him. Together, they drove the invaders back, reclaiming their village and turning the tide of the battle. Nyah watched from the hill, tears streaming down her face. She had not anticipated the strength of Barku's spirit or the depth of his love for Kumalo. As the last of Zakeri's warriors fled, Barku stood victorious but visibly weakened. His jaguar form began to fade, and he collapsed to the ground, reverting to his human self. Surrounded by his people, Barku smiled weakly. Kumalo is safe, he said, his voice faint but steady. That is all I ever wanted. Protect each other. Live for Kumalo. With those words, Barku closed his eyes. The village fell silent, the weight of his sacrifice sinking in. A gentle rain began to fall, washing away the blood and soot of battle, as if the earth itself mourned its hero. A stone was mounted and on it inscribed Barku the legend. His story and sacrifice was cemented in the history of his people.